who the sanctuary to. Okay. All right. I think we're live. Hi, everybody. This is Wendy, and I am the visionary of the Goddess Awakening and Healing Sanctuary. And this is my newest expansion of the Sanctuary Radio Show, which I do every Wednesday at DC Radio and 96.3 HD4 DCRadio.gov. And so I just have so many awesome topics and know so many great people that I wanted to keep the momentum going. And I figured that I would start something new. So this is the Sanctuary Radio Show, and I call it In the Flow. And in the flow means I can come on whenever I want, and I can talk about whatever I want, and I can say whatever I want. And so this is where I'm a little bit more free to flow. And so my first guest is Shakera Vaughan from Georgetown University. She's a senior, and she is a part of the team that's doing the B.R.A.V.E. Summit over at Georgetown University. So I'm going to read her bio, and then we're going to just start moving forward and talk about the whole B.R.A.V.E. Summit, which I have attended twice, and I even took my daughter, and it is amazing. So I suggest anybody who has a daughter, you need to consider checking it out, okay? So Shakera Vaughan is a senior studying government and sociology from Richmond, Virginia. And she serves as the president of the Georgetown University Women of Color and is the speakers director for this year's B.R.A.V.E. Summit. So are you guys in your fourth year, Shakera?
This is our fourth year, yes.
Okay, so fourth year. So after graduation, she plans to attend the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I used to live in Durham, so I know that area, where she will pursue her master's in public administration in hopes of improving government efficiency for the people and communities that deserve it the most. So welcome, Shakera.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so glad that you were able to join us. And so we're kind of like testing out this whole technology thing here. So please bear with us as we, as we move forward. If you have any questions, feel free to put the questions in the box. If you have any comments, feel free to do the same thing. I'm about to share it to my group. So I am hoping that you all will share too. So the B.R.A.V.E. Summit.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about the B.R.A.V.E. Summit, but I love the acronym of B.R.A.V.E.
Yes.
So tell us what B.R.A.V.E. means.
Of course. So the B.R.A.V.E. Summit is something that, as you mentioned, started 4 years ago. It started with a group of women at Georgetown University who just noticed an extreme lack of representation of Black women at the forefront of conversations. So together they came up with the B.R.A.V.E. Summit. And B.R.A.V.E. stands for Black, Resilient, Artistic, Vigilant, and Enough. So it is a very, very, very powerful acronym that a lot of people are able, of course, to resonate with. And to also get some like contextualization of summit themes, we go based off of the letters of the B.R.A.V.E. So we first started out with B, then we went on to R, to A, and then now as the fourth year, we're on the letter V. So this year's theme of the B.R.A.V.E. Summit is Vigilant, Maintaining the Movement. So it's focusing on community advocacy, activism, all of those things centered around organizing and really bringing Black women to the forefront of these conversations where the topics and conversations are very important.
I love that. And it's so cool because you are collegiates. Mm-hmm. Like collegiates have always been at the forefront of advocacy and the revolution, starting with, the Black mamas who came here from Africa. They had to fight for us to survive. We're here because they just decided to make it work.
Yep.
And the sororities, the American sororities that are here in the United States, founded from collegiates. So I love that. And then even, the 60s movement we see and the other movements we see that women were always at the forefront. Mm-hmm. So B.R.A.V.E. So I found out about the B.R.A.V.E. Summit. It was almost like random. Somebody said they were taking their students and I said, well, I want to go. And I have a 16-year-old. So at that time she was 14. and she wasn't there, but I was like, I still want to go and see what this is about. And so I go, and it was beautiful. I was so inspired. It was so empowering. And there were some great speakers that you all had that I have connected with personally, you know, moving forward. And I was like, who are, I hate to say this, Shakera, I was like, who are these little girls? They are getting it. I was like, they are getting it. And the funny thing to me was that your school president was there.
Yeah.
And at the opening, you guys came out and somebody did a poem, and then there was this beautiful like montage of all these beautiful Black women doing things that happened over the course of the year, and everybody was hyped. And so my thought was like, what is he thinking? And then my second thought was like, I don't care what he's thinking, because that's part of the problem, the centering of what they think. So I would like to talk about how you got involved, because if it's in its fourth year, you're a senior, so then you were a freshman at that time. So tell me how you got involved in it.
Yeah, so to give a little background, because this will help explain it further and explain like my position within everything.
Okay.
The B.R.A.V.E Summit is technically under and classified as an event that falls under the Georgetown University Women of Color, which is the organization that I'm now president with. So my involvement kind of came in two different ways. So my involvement came because I was brought on as the freshman representative for Georgetown University Women of Color my freshman year. It was me and one other woman who was a freshman representative. So I got involved because I was obviously like, this is something that aligns with my identity. This is something I care about. And this is something that I'm seeing an immediate need for. Then my involvement also just came as me being my own individual, being my own Black woman, and really noticing this is something that was very much needed, not only for Georgetown University, but also for the larger community outside the front gates. So that's kind of where my involvement came. I was captivated my first year coming. Started out as a volunteer. I was a part of the founding team in the sense that I did help to make sure and execute the organizing, the planning. But I also wanted to make sure I was very much volunteering day of. And then since then, I've just been a part of the planning team ever since. The year after that, I was on the speakers committee. And then I was on the speakers committee again my junior year. But I was like one of the chairs of the speakers committee. And then now this year, that's how I'm now the speakers director. It's 4 directors in total. We have a marketing director, we have a logistics director, and then we have a sponsorships director. And then of course the speakers director, which is me. So we all do various things, but as you can imagine, there are a lot of people and a lot of bodies that we need in order to make this happen.
Absolutely. So the first one, right? So you're at the first one. I didn't make that one. I didn't even know about it. So how, like, what was the reaction from everybody when you pulled off that first one?
Yeah. A lot of people were surprised. A lot of people were in awe, but most of all, I think people were really proud because it took up until that year to really have this one event that was focused on Black women. So although I was involved with the Georgetown University Women of Color, that's kind of an umbrella organization for all women of color. So women who identify as Asian, women who identify with the Latinx community, women who identify with the Black community. But this is the first event that we had just for Black women, and people lost it. Like, people really didn't know how to react at first, especially people who didn't identify as Black. But specifically within the Black community, everyone was so proud. Everyone was so thankful because finally we had something that was ours. And we had something that was just so empowering and so powerful. So the reaction was great, and I was so surprised. And ever since then, it's grown. Our attendance has grown each and every single year as we've wanted. We started out with around 150 participants, and last year we had well over 400 participants. And it's just something that continues to grow, and we're very proud of that.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's how I felt being an attendee.
Yeah.
I was sitting there in awe. I was super proud. I was like, wow. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, y'all can be my kids. And I was just like, they have something, like a little spark in their eyes, a little bit of fire, a little bit of, self-awareness and self-love that maybe I didn't even have, and people that I know when we were that age in collegiate, we fought and whatever, but it was a whole different time.
Mhm.
I think when I was in school, we were asleep still. Some of us were still sort of asleep, and then the environment wasn't as crunk as it is now. Now we're clear, it's always been that way. It's just that some of us were able to navigate it differently. Then, so we didn't have the internet. I didn't even have the internet in college, so the word wasn't getting out as much as it is now. And so to see this going on, and then to see the speakers, it was really a beautiful thing. And I said to myself, I have to bring my daughter next year. I don't know when it is. I don't know what's going on, but my daughter will be there. And I take her everywhere. And she's a typical teenager. She's like, oh my God, we got to get up early. Where are we going? Why I got to go? None of her friends could go. And I'm like, I don't care. You're coming, right?
Yep.
So we get there, and I let her do her thing. I took her phone away too. I didn't want her distracted. I didn't want her just being in her phone.
Good for you.
So I took the phone away, and so we're sitting there, and that video montage came on. So this was just last year. The video montage was dope, and so we had all these beautiful things happening in our community. We had Solange had come out, and whatever happened in like 2017, 2018 was what was on that screen. And I saw her smirk, and I was like, got her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew I had her at that point, and I knew that she was engaged. And when you all came out, and when you all started doing your presentations and dancers and just all the different things that were happening to lead up to us going to our breakouts, she was engaged. And that says a lot for, I guess at that time she was 15.
Yeah.
So, I will be bringing her this year. I actually have my sister coming down from New Jersey with my nieces. They're coming down too, and we're going to experience this together.
There you go.
So I would, just say anybody who is in the DC area on what is it, March 16th?
Yeah.
And what is the time?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What time does it start? What are the times?
So the time starts it's 9 a.m. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So it is all day affair, but it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's worth it. And so we're gonna come deep. I have been telling everybody, which is why I wanted you to be on with us today.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how you plan it. Let's talk about like what people can expect. Like, what are the panels? Who are the panelists, and what can they expect to learn?
Of course. So planning the B.R.A.V.E Summit actually, okay, so for whatever year that we're planning the B.R.A.V.E Summit, we start the previous year right after the B.R.A.V.E Summit happened for the year prior.
Okay.
So it's the all year affair of trying to fundraise, trying to promote, trying to land speakers, all the whole 9 yards. So this year, since our theme is focused on vigilance, maintaining the movement, we did want to focus a bit more, I should say, locally. Instead of trying to get speakers that came from all across the country, we really wanted to get people who have lived, breathed, and had these experiences within the DMV area. So we have community activists, community organizers, people who advocate for the community coming within the DMV within the DMV area. We do have some people who aren't from the DMV area, but it's majority people locally. So this year, the theme, maintaining the movement, we focused on a few different things that we felt people wanted, because people also fill out surveys and whatnot of what they want to see next year at the B.R.A.V.E Summit. So we tried to tap into that as well. So we have two main stage panels that we deemed as like the most appropriate to have all of the attendees attend. And for those who don't know, who are watching, the B.R.A.V.E Summit's kind of broken up in a couple of different ways. We have two main stage panels that all attendees go to, and then we have two rounds of breakout sessions, and during those breakout sessions, there are four choices you get to choose from. And then we have our big keynote. So altogether, it's about 11 things that people can go to.
Wow.
So the two main stage panels that we have are the Mothers of the Movement panel, which focuses really on these founders and these key pivotal figures within huge movements such as like Black Lives Matter. We have someone who was one of the founders for the Howard Resist movement. People who really played such pivotal roles in pushing these narratives and pushing these movements. And then the second big main stage one that we have is the Me Too panel. Me Too is a social contemporary movement. And for that I am so excited for that panel. We have one of the deputy directors of the DC Rape Crisis Center coming. We have someone who handles the Title IX situations here at Georgetown University. And then we have Tamika Mallory coming, who was the co-president of the entire Women's March. So we're really excited to have her come as well.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and then for breakout sessions, we have, I'll just give a quick rundown of them. We have activism within the LGBTQ plus community. We have activism in politics, aka shaking the table. We have activism in law. We have, what else do we have? Oh my goodness, we have so many. We have activism in entrepreneurship. We have a mental health panel where we're going to have so many mental health professionals. And what I love about that panel is the fact that we have psychologists, we have nutritionists, we have life coaches, we have spiritual coaches. Like we really tried to cover all aspects of mental health that we could get in order to get a more holistic picture of mental health. We have a healing circle. All of these great panels that we think people are really going to take away a lot from it.
That's amazing. And I mean, I think people from all ages really would benefit. So now, you know, I saw high school students there. I don't know if there's the middle school students there, and then definitely collegiates. What are the age ranges that you're targeting?
Yeah, so we actually target a wide range of Black women. So we want the kiddies to come. We want the babies to come. We want,
when you learn early, then it helps, you know, get those tools early.
Exactly. So we have high schoolers coming. We have, we're partnering with a few organizations, and I do want to shamelessly plug this in here.
Plug everybody.
I'm sorry?
You can plug anybody.
There we go. So we're really cognizant of the fact that we, of course, want high schoolers. We want anyone to come. So if paying for a Brave Summit ticket poses as an issue to anybody, I would tell them to reach out to me or reach out to anybody a part of my team. All of our website can be found all of our information can be found on our website. So this includes people who have financial troubles, and this includes large groups or organizations that focus on women empowerment, specifically Black women empowerment. If they wanted to get a group of students to come, we're partnering with one organization in Richmond. They're bringing up groups. They got some free tickets from us. So I encourage anybody to hit us up. So we have the high schoolers coming. Of course, we have the college students coming from Georgetown and from, of course, outside of Georgetown. So Howard American, some George Mason students, some James Madison University students. We've had them all come. And then, of course, graduate students and people even well into their professional career are all encouraged to come. So we have a pretty big age group, but that's primarily because there's no limit to say what all Black women need to feel that empowerment that we're touching on and we're talking about. So since this is something that applies to so many people, we want to make sure we're encompassing all of that with the age groups.
That is beautiful. And that's exactly what we need, because I felt like, you know, just being there, I just went on a whim, but I walked out so excited. You know, I walked out so empowered, and I was going to wear my little fish shirt with the pink nails, but I have worn the shirt for the last 2 years. So it's like tattered now, but I love that shirt, and it made me feel really, really good. It made me feel really good to, wear it and to walk around. And sometimes I would get these stares, depending on where I was, and I would be like, oh yeah, I got my shirt on. What? You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So my girl Carm is here. She's a teacher. She's a middle school teacher in Washington, D.C., and she took students a few years ago. So I actually went with her.
Please tell her, since she's listening, if you plan on bringing a group of students, please reach out to them. We would love to give you some free tickets to bring even more students this year. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Yes. So awesome. You heard her, Carm. So, I felt like I knew I needed to bring my daughter this year. I knew that I needed to spread the word even more, because just the times that we're living in, and my daughter at her school, half the kids are always so stressed out, kids of color, because the things aren't really they aren't really focusing on them. And
Yep.
so many kids have anxiety. I mean, grown people got anxiety. I do coaching and I deal with wellness and Black women and being stressed out in professional career and in, you know, just in life. And so I feel like when you get these tools early, then you are able to navigate a little bit better. And when you see the empowerment, when you see the energy and feel the energy, that's why I like cracked up to myself when I saw my daughter, who was a hard nut to crack most of the time. She was smirking and she sat up and she was watching it, and you know, it was beautiful. So tell me about who your keynote is, if you're, you know, if you can, some of the names and even the local names. So I'm here in Washington, D.C. This will be happening in Washington, D.C. Tell us who the people are that you've pulled out of the community to speak at your event.
Yeah, of course. So I guess some of the speakers from the DC community that, of course, we've kind of already announced who will be speaking, so I can disclose all information.
Okay.
So, we have, just to name a few, April Gogans, we have Makia Green, we have Alexis McKinney. These are all people who play pivotal roles within Black Lives Matter movements or other related movements. We have some people coming out of the mayor's office. I'm blanking on their name right now, but they work with like community engagement. We have someone from the Virginia Department of Education coming to speak about community engagement, what that means to advocate for people from the political realm of things. We have internal people from Georgetown coming, so some professors from Georgetown, because and the official name of the panel is Taught for Us by Us, Activism in Academia. We have some people from Howard University coming. Yeah, that's just to name a few. And then our ultimate keynote, we just announced this Friday, our keynote, some people may know, some people may not know, but Yandy Smith from Love and Hip Hop. She has been in mainstream media, especially a lot lately, surrounding her activism work with getting the lights on within the jail, and just other works that focus on like jail and prison reform, and just her ultimate like mentoring and really being that voice and really being that empowering figure to Black women everywhere. So that's our keynote this year. We're really excited to have her here.
That sounds amazing. So the Melanin Militia.
Melanin Militia, yes, ma'am.
Tell me what that is and where that came from.
Melanin Militia. It's not a huge significant story behind it. Just a matter of we wanted to come up with a name to characterize this army of just powerful Black women that we had making this happen, and powerful Black women in the community. So we were all thinking, and this is something I actually think stemmed from last year. We were all thinking in the living room, we're just like, what can we make alliteration? What can we make like that, like makes sense and is catchy? And we threw around some names, but ultimately someone was just like, Melanin Militia, like just, you know, an army centered around Black women. Like that is something figurative yet like realistic. So let's call ourselves the Melanin Militia. And it stuck. It stuck, and ever since then, that's what we call ourselves. And it's just so cute. I'm glad it stuck over the years. So that's where we're at.
You know, and that's one of those things where, you know, you just be sitting in a room, you don't think it's significant, but it does feel significant. Because when I heard it, I was like, yo, that's the same thing. I'm like, who are these little girls?
There you go.
Where are they getting this from? It was just so amazing and so wonderful. So let's talk about really quickly the tickets again. And because you said that teachers or whoever has an issue with getting tickets can get some at a discount.
Yes.
And where else can they find out information about, you know, how to connect with you all?
So all of our information, including what the theme this year's Brave Summit is, including like highlights from last year's summit. Our website also includes like our founding story. It gives credit to the women who really did help found the Brave Summit. All of that can be found on our website, and it's going to be at GUBravesummit.com. All of our the tickets can be found there. There's a link that says buy tickets. It's through an Eventbrite link. There is a tab with our like teams. And for those who are also listening, if you need to reach out to me directly, you definitely can. I can be reached through my email, which is SKV as in Victor 24 at georgetown.edu. So if anyone needs to reach out to me in regard to tickets, discounted rates, logistical questions, anything of that sort, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out. But again, all of our information can be found on our website at gubravesummit.com.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to be
We can't wait to have
my
you.
sisters to come down and my nieces to come down. We're going to experience it together. Again, I would say that anybody who has a daughter, any mommy, even if your daughter's out of town and she's at the basketball game, come over to Georgetown. But bring the babies, because they will definitely walk out of there with a sense of empowerment, being inspired, and even being educated, because the breakout sessions really just go, it's like a deeper dive into certain topics. So, you know, I definitely would say do it for yourself. It's a gift. It's on a Saturday. They gonna feed you, right?
We feed you breakfast.
They have food.
We feed you lunch.
Yep.
We have a live painter this year. Yes, all the whole 9 yards.
And vendors, are you still having the vendors?
We're going to have vendors. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, Shakera, thank you so much. Thanks everybody for joining us on our first The Sanctuary Radio Show. This is in the flow, so we don't even need the whole hour. We got out what we needed to get out.
There we go.
That you will, you know, continue to watch. I'm just going to be coming on at random times. That's what In the Flow is. You can come on at any time, and bringing empowering and inspirational information to the masses to help us awaken and heal. And then for the women, to help us be our most authentic and healthy selves by tapping into the goddess within. So again, thank you, Shakera. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And I will see you next time in the flow. Peace.
Thank you.